Hey guys, I'm Kat from BiblioBabes.ca. I almost dropped my book on the floor. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Flesh Eaters by Joe McKinney. I gave it, what do we have here? What do we have? Okay, let me just tell you what I have written down. Flesh Eaters, Joe McKinney, horror, zombie horror. April 2011 is when it was published, and it was 389 pages, and I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. So, synopsis. Mother Nature has a bone to pick with Texas, and she's dumping a whole lot of hurricanes on the citizens of Houston. But looters, floods, and toxic sludge are just the beginning, because the dead are beginning to rise, and they have a taste for the few survivors that are left. Ba-ba-ba. So, this is what I thought about it. Flesh Eaters was awarded Best Novel of the Year by the Horror Writers Association. As cunty as it sounds, it must have been a slow-ass motherfucking year, because this was your average run-of-the-mill zombie novel. Hardly even that, actually. See, McKinney spent a lot of time focusing on the devastation that the storms caused, and the zombies really seemed like an added inconvenience, as opposed to the main subject. Ahem. Which is what I expected from a book called Flesh Eaters with goddamn zombies on the cover. The zombies didn't really come into center stage until pretty much the last quarter of the book. And what kind of self-respecting zombie can be drowned? Really, how the zombies got drowned in this book? Seriously, what the fuck? I found that confusing as hell. You can kill them by drowning and shooting them, not in the head, and eviscerating them with outboard motors, which was actually a really cool scene that I enjoyed quite a bit. But they also don't die from maiming or having their guts spilled out. And at that point, they're really no more menacing than meth junkies or looters. Which are still pretty fucking frightening, but not zombie frightening. I also found that McKinney used some of the, next page, same phrases pretty repetitiously. Ropes of blood and strips of clothing being some of the main offenders. And I found that Shaw's character, the senior Shaw, had a pretty drastic personality change towards the end. Sure, his experiences would change a man, but it seemed like he acted the way he did towards the end there, not because he was a man wounded by horrible tragedy, but instead as a convenient plot device. Boo! That's how I feel about convenient plot devices, by the way. Honestly, if I didn't know this was a best book of the year, I probably would have been able to enjoy it for what it was. A pulpy zombie paperback. I can say it definitely had a slightly different bent, with more focus on the characters and introducing a variety of antagonists, which was interesting. It was written pretty decently, though I found a few editing errors. How is that still happening in books today, in, like, modern day and age? Ugh! And it was fluffy enough to read it fairly quickly. Flesh Eaters wasn't bad, but I sure expected a hell of a lot more for an award winner. So, that was my review of Flesh Eaters by Joe McKinney. Read it. It's, you know, you can read it. It's readable. It's a book with words and pages that you turn, and it's got zombies, and it's readable, but don't read it going into like, oh my god, this is an award winner, it's going to be just wonderful, because if you do, you're going to be sorely fucking disappointed. So, thank you very much. My name is Kat from BiblioBabes.ca, and happy reading.